Confused about what career to choose? Not quite sure of the range of study and work options compatible with your personality, aptitude and interests? Welcome to Career Cafe, where we give you a ringside view of an exciting career each week. Together, we shall explore the pros and cons, the ins and outs, the programs and prospects, all the stuff you need to make an informed and successful career choice. Hi, I'm your host and career guide Parveen Malhotra. And on the menu today, we have the much talked about but not so well understood field of environment sciences and studies. Unlike other streams, traditional streams of science, environmental studies is a vast and interdisciplinary field that combines both natural as well as social sciences, engineering as well as management, and law, and what have you. Careers in environmental science or studies is so diverse and varied that it's difficult to consider them as one category. From environmental scientists and engineers, including those in renewable energy, to biologists, atmospheric scientists such as meteorologists, climatologists, oceanographers, geophysicists, statisticians, urban planners, sustainable development professionals, as well as journalists, activists, lawyers, consultants, economists, and what have you. And who better to tell us all about them than Dr. Suresh Jain, Professor and Head, Department of Natural Resources, TERI University, New Delhi. An MTech in Environmental Engineering and Management from IIT Kanpur, Dr. Jain has a PhD in Air Quality Modeling for Urban Transport Emissions from IIT Delhi. Armed with 3 published books and 45 international papers in journals to his credit, combined with his prior industry experience of leading the environmental consulting team on urban air quality modeling, impact assessment and management, he's been supervising research students at the PhD and master's levels worldwide and at TERI, of course, and is actively involved in international and national projects related to environmental issues. As a DAAD scholarship recipient, he worked on human health and ecological risk assessment at the University of Stuttgart, Germany, for the International Fellowship Program. Welcome to Career Cafe, Dr. Jain. Absolute pleasure having you here. So this whole, everybody talks about the environment and how polluted it is and how important it is that we sustain it. But when we talk about environmental studies, what exactly are its subcomponents? Is it just one, like in traditional universities, we have a BSc in environmental science and an MSc in environmental science. But say like at a university like yours, I saw that the number of offerings, 13 odd, and maybe adding, So what are these subfields within environmental sciences? And that is what we'll be discussing today. What are the subfields? What is the scope? What are the career avenues? And is it only for hardcore science and engineering types? Or are there people like me and you and lawyers and journalists and activists and social scientists and economists and statisticians? Do we have a place or a role to play in our environment? That is what we'll be discussing with Dr. Jain today.
Ma'am, if you see, you mentioned, like when you are talking about environmental science or studies, so you have a knowledge of statistics, you have a knowledge of law, you have a knowledge of natural resources, management, applied science, and so on and so forth.
No, but does this happen even in our traditional universities where such
If I say in brief, no. Because if you see the acronym environmental sciences, so the major emphasis is on the science part only. And if you see the today's scenario, science is not going to, it's not going to resolve the 100% issue. Because for example, if there is a dam is coming, so obviously engineers and the scientists, they make the dam, but you have to understand the other aspects, social aspects, biodiversity aspects, land aspect, and so on and so forth. Displacement, so rehabilitation, resettlement. So might be for an engineer who is making in a dam, that is irrelevant. But for the people who are living since long, with their ancestors, or you can say grandparents, and so it's not the only their land is going, it's their like all emotions, attachments,
the way of
their
life,
livelihood, everything is attached. So we have to be little careful. So it means, like you rightly pointed out, there isn't a difference between environmental sciences and environmental studies, and that's why very smartly or very intelligently we put our acronym in the degree's name is Environmental Studies and Resource Management, because we also focus on science, but we have like a mix of, like you can say, different aspects. When you talk about studies, we do apply the management aspect, applied science, social science, sustainable development, very important. People have to see how sustainability is important. So when you talk about sustainability, it's having three pillars: environment, economics, and society. So it means you cannot negate two aspects. So it means everything is connected. So in the environmental studies, you will going to get in a broader aspects to understand the overall environmental components or overall environmental, you can say, part of different environmental aspects in this part.
So if you have any queries, call us quickly on our toll-free numbers 011-230-35420 and 1800-115314 flashing on your screens. So continue. So when, so far, people talked about the environment and it was looked at as a somewhat esoteric and soft subject. Now, so as an area of research, good, as an area of academics, good. But as you said, when we need to apply it on the ground, then there have to be takers who will take these professionals and hire these professionals for various roles.
Yes.
Now, while there is a buzz about environmental studies and sciences, is industry awake to the possibility of hiring these specialists?
I will say yes. If you see, most of the industries now, they are looking like they have to contribute how to mitigate climate change, or they want to contribute. If you see the number of advertisements which are coming nowadays, so they mention they want to contribute in social improvement of the people. Swachh Bharat mission, they want to contribute into that. So it shows like they want to contribute. And who is going to help them? The environmental guys. So it means there is a way, like you take the people, they are going to help you like how to manage your environmental aspects in your industry. So definitely you are going to hire those people. Only the reason is like if you are taking on your career path in environmental sciences, so you very much the feeding part is the science part.
Right.
And
right.
maybe you are missing, like for example, when you're talking about sustainable aspects, so you are missing the economics part. And maybe like we have done our master's degree in environmental sciences. So we never taught the economics. And now we see how it is important when you're talking about air pollution and how the air pollution is making impact and people are converting into health damage.
Yes.
So when you are converting health damage, so cost is there. So you have to understood the science part, where the damage is happening, so that's a social or economics part is there. So it means one person cannot resolve the issue. So you have a fair idea how this transformation is taking from one stream to another. And that's very important. We have to bring multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinary in the subject, because person have to understood the subject or the problem from the root. If you're not able to really see where the problem is existing, you are not able to provide the solution. And there the difference is there. Maybe the science part you can understood very well, but at the same time, you have to implement the technology or whatever the new innovations are there at the grassroots level.
I've also seen that, say, in innovative universities such as yours, the entry requirements into these programs are fairly liberal.
Yes.
So, I mean, typically क्या होता है कि अगर आपने B.Tech सिविल में किया है तभी आप M.Tech सिविल कर सकते हो, पर आपके यहाँ एक progressive university और ये होते हुए you could be from various streams. I've seen, I've been reading up your brochures, so you have students from geography and students from social sciences and economics coming in. So I think that brings a multidisciplinary approach also to the whole.
If you see the TERI University, the inherent characteristics is from TERI, the Energy and Resources Institute. and we are working for sustainable development. And rightly pointed out, because if you are working towards sustainable development, you have to bring these three minimum dimensions of the sustainability.
The science, the social and the economics.
So by default, you see the management perspective comes, applied science comes, social component comes. So that's a unique feature of TERI University programs are. So if you see the tagline, knowledge for sustainable development, and there we really commit, and that's why we intentionally have put the name of our degree like environmental studies and resources management. And that's why you can see why we are making so flexible, because we being in a faculty members also want to know what is in the mind of a person who is coming from economics background, how he or she understood the same aspect. And then you see it's a giving the curiosity in yourself also. You have to learn, you have to explain the same thing in a different way. So you can see it's in a packaging of the different views, the same way you are going to deliver in environmental sciences also. So in environmental studies, we are taking from wide different disciplines, because the reason being is we are training them for the future, where they really see every subject or the topic is connected to the sustainability. So that's where you see we are taking students from geography background, we are taking students from economics background, and there it's not for easy task for us, because the wide variety of students are coming, even not from the subject wise, even from different geographical locations. Then you see the curiosity comes in the student, and they are learning from peers also. Like if we are having some group task, so one is from economics background, one is from social background.
Right.
You see, it's making a buzz on you. You are not going to think the problem in the same way.
Yes.
There is an economical angle also. There is a social angle
But this is so enriching, no?
Exactly.
Even for the group.
Yeah, it's not enriching for them, it's enriching for
Even
us
for
also.
you. Absolutely.
Because I just very briefly we have one program on MA Public Policy, Sustainable Development. So there the people are coming like more of bureaucrats or the professionals. So when we are teaching them, so they are making groups with the youngsters. And they were telling me in one of the feedback, sir, we have learned a lot. Even though we are chairing the committees of these where we are learning, but even though there are many things which we are not at all considering. So it's a peer learning for the both the you can say stakeholders.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's the way, like the uniqueness of the courses are very important.
And that's how it should be.
Exactly.
That's how it should be,
Yes.
particularly because of the nature of the subject.
Exactly.
That demands.
Exactly. The demand side is
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
Means only the thing is you have to see where the demand is,
Yes.
what they want. We are not supposed to be so traditional.
Yes.
We have to be, but we have to see what people really
Very
require.
true, very true. So what we'll do, Suresh, is we'll take a short break here, because that's mandatory. And when we return, we'll continue looking at the prospects and programs. So stay right there. Welcome back to Career Cafe. We are looking at careers in environmental studies, and with us is Dr. Suresh Jain from TERI University, New Delhi. Also on the line is Mr. Ramakrishnan from Tamil Nadu. Welcome to Career Cafe. Hello.
Yes, madam. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am a doctor at Coimbatore.
Yes.
I was just interested in knowing the courses you're offering in environmental sciences.
Okay. The various courses in the country.
Okay, both.
Both.
I just
All
like
right.
to see how.
So, could you briefly answer his question, please?
Yeah, there are many options. If I say like in the environmental sciences, if one want to make her or his career, so there are multiple options are there. Universities are available. Even the IITs are there where you can have, like if your bent is towards more of technology part, maybe the IITs are there. For example, the TERI University, where we have number of courses, not only in environmental studies, we have the related courses also.
You even have MTech programs.
We have MTech program, for example, in renewable energy engineering and management, urban development management, water sciences, and so. So there are multiple options are there. For example, Jawaharlal Nehru University is there, Delhi University is there, DTU is there, so multiple choices are there. One can have
many of the
yes.
engineering colleges offer environmental
offering,
engineering
yes.
as a BTech
Yes.
program. You
Yes.
also have integrated BTech MTech programs,
Right,
etc.
right.
तो डॉक्टर जैन एक चीज मुझे बताएं कि जब आप MSc करते हैं या आप MTech BTech करते हैं तो उसमें अंतर क्या होता है?
You see, when we are saying MSc in environmental sciences, so our major focus is on the science part. When you say the technology, so if you see the IIT
the
started,
application.
yeah, it's an application.
Application.
So technology is really having the meaning of application part. So that is very important we have to understand, because sometimes when you say BE or BTech, so BE is more fundamental of those engineering components, but when you say BTech, it's a more of applied or application part is there.
Right.
So that's a major difference is there when you say BSc or MSc or BTech or MTech.
But for your information, at TERI University, all the courses are at the master's level.
Yes,
You
we
do
don't
not
have any
they don't
undergraduate
have
courses,
any
yes.
bachelor's level programs. So you could have done your bachelor's in just about any stream.
Any stream, not exactly like you are suppose MA in English,
हाँ,
but
वो तो है.
yes, there are like still the lots of options are there. If you are mathematics, BSc, or in that honors mathematics, economics honors, BA honors, statistics, so
yes.
economics, so geography also.
Yes.
So we have an like option. You can take the MSc courses in our university.
And if you have done a BTech, it could be regardless of what you've done, civil, mechanical,
you
IT,
can.
whatever.
You are welcome.
You are welcome for any of the
yes,
MTech
it's
programs.
in a biomedical, biotechnology, or the typical streams, civil engineering, say, most welcome in that.
So I hope you've got your answer. And we have yet another caller, Satendra Kumar from Bihar. Welcome to Career Cafe, Satendra.
हाँ सर, गुड इवनिंग मैम.
Good
मैम,
evening.
मैं पूछना चाहता हूँ मैम कि ये जो इन्वायरमेंटल साइंस जो है मैम, इसको मैं ग्रेजुएट के बाद मतलब कि कर सकता हूँ, और इसमें मतलब जैसे ग्रेजुएशन मतलब कर रहा हूँ मैं मैथ ऑनर्स से, इसके बाद मेरे आगे का स्कोप इसमें मैं अच्छी कोर्स कर सकता हूँ, और इसका कैसा मतलब फीडबैक गवर्नमेंट जॉब के लिए है?
बहुत सारे यही, चलो ये तो बहुत अच्छा सवाल आपने पूछा. हाँ, आपने मैथमेटिक्स ऑनर्स किया है तब तो आपके लिए बहुत अवसर हैं एनवायरमेंटल साइंसेज में, फ्रॉम जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स टू होल लॉट ऑफ असेसमेंट्स जो होते हैं एनवायरमेंटल असेसमेंट्स के लिए.
मैथमेटिक्स इज अगेन इन साइंस पार्ट. So if you have like your undergraduation in mathematics, you are very well eligible for that. Obviously, there could be a number of universities where the percentage varies for the eligibility. That's a different component is there. But yes, from mathematics, you can go for your career with the environmental science studies or engineering also. But the thing is that like we have multiple career pathways. You can go after completing your master's degree in government sector, non-government sector, NGOs, grassroots level, you can say companies are there.
इनको जरा गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर, बिकॉज हमारे देश में गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स का बहुत.
So government sector, if you see all the state pollution control board, central pollution control board, ministries, nowadays if you see every ministry is working for COP21, and they really don't have that much of expertise of the subject. So it means they are dependent on the environmental scientists or engineers or so. So you have you can have a choice in the government sector also. Or in the academics, for example, if you want to go in academics also, you have the multiple choice, whether it is a government university or the private university.
उसके लिए हायर लेवल स्टडीज,
Higher level studies are
आपको यूजीसी नेट क्लियर करना है मास्टर के
You have
बाद.
to be doctorate in the subject and so.
So government jobs ये हुए. इसके अलावा now let us look at, there are several non-government organizations that are working in this sector, है ना, like Center for Scientific Information and Research and things like that. तो इनमें किस अलग-अलग NGOs के अलग-अलग purviews होते हैं.
Exactly, ma'am. You see, people see what they want. For example, sometimes people say they want to go in corporates. So it means they are looking very much in environmental consultancy. So they want to become like an environmental manager or environmental scientist, for example, in a particular stream they want to go. So corporates are also working in diverse areas. Someone is working in very much climate change, clean development mechanisms. Some is working on social assessment, but with an angle of environmental perspective. So you have the options in NGOs, you have options in corporates, for example, SGS India Private Limited, KPMG. You have a number of takers where you can go in the private sectors also. But if you have only environmental science domain expertise, so sometimes restrictions are there because maybe they are not, for example, they want a person for their environmental sustainability division. So I don't know, in environmental science, in core universities, really they are taking the environment, the sustainability angle in that much of detail. So for that, in that case, you become handicapped in that case.
आपको ये आप ऐसे कोर्स कर भी रहे हैं या फंसे भी हुए हैं या कुछ भी, आपको आपका आंखें खुली रखनी है. Yes.
So maybe in that case, you obviously you have to study the science part also, engineering part also, in very much of detail. But at the same time, you have to see how the applications are there. The job, if you see the people who are going to offer the jobs, you have to understand their philosophy, what they want. If the people, they want a person in clean development mechanism, so it means that is a very narrow area.
Yes, narrow area. So then look at that.
So you have to see in clean development mechanism, maybe you are working on renewables. So obviously the particular mechanism you have to understand the technology part, the renewable energy part. So it is very important where you want to go. So sometimes if you can make up something before completing your master's degree, so sometimes it's going to help you.
We have 1 minute. There's one person on the line. Dr. Prakash Tiwari from UP. Sorry to keep you waiting, Dr. Saab. What is your question? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, what is your question? Sorry to keep you waiting.
It's okay, ma'am. Myself, Dr. Prakash Tiwari, Head of Department Environmental Sciences.
Oh, wonderful.
Kamala Nehru Institute of Science and Technology, Sultanpur.
Okay.
Ma'am, my question is why the people who are working in environmental sciences, and most of my students are in environmental sciences, they are not getting a much better salary option in their field. That's why the career option is going to be soon dumb. That's, I think.
That is an issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Because these are early days.
Science option is not in such a saga that the students who are studying environment science, they are not getting proper salary.
इसका आप क्या सुझाव देंगे?
You see, if you see some of the aspects I mentioned, me as a corporate or an industry person, I have my own choice, or I want a person within a proper skills. For example, if I am going to work on environmental impact assessment, so I won't like the person have to understood what environmental impact assessment is. So sometimes we are very much in theoretical side.
This is
so
the
that's
problem.
That's, you see, you are hitting the nail. And there you see the understanding of doing environmental impact assessment. And if you remember 5 years or 10 years back, people were saying the people who are doing EIA, it's one-man job. Actually, it is not. You need the biodiversity expert, you need the air quality expert, you need the water quality experts, and so on and so forth. So it means just going to give the theoretical, you can say, inputs to the students, there will be a challenge.
So I think the answer lies in involving the students in industry-related projects while they are studying itself. So that, you know, the industry gets to know them, they get to know the industry and the requirements, and perhaps that sort of, you know, makes for a better reception of students.
When you are going to develop your curriculum, you have to see for which this curriculum has been designed.
Yes.
Only for science streams or the corporate people, in corporate also, only a particular stream only. So that's very important. You have to understand what the industry demands, what the corporate demands, what your NGOs are looking for.
And you have to work very closely with industry all the time. And I think this is where some of our traditional universities do
lack on that. And you have to give a chance to the students to work on live projects. Before they pass out, they have to understand the genesis or the problem, root means cause of the problem, how you have to resolve. Sometimes you see people in a traditional university, you find out that they are missing the tools also. For example, statistics. Not only knowing mean, median, mode is going to resolve the problem. You have to go a little higher on science.
Yes, the software program.
There is a part, because for example, you are my boss and you ask like what percentage of the things are there and how confident you are, whatever the statement you are making. So it means you have to understood
you have to
how
support.
to answer and what tool you are applying so that the certainty in your answer is more. Or if it is uncertain, you have to define how much uncertainty is there. So it means the tools and technology is also very important. For example, geoinformatics we have. You can look the same problem going physically monitoring the things, and from you can have both the choice. It will go saving your resources, time, manpower, and the same problem remotely you can resolve the things.
You can resolve.
Yes.
So what is your parting shot for students looking at careers? Yes, what Dr. Tiwari says is also true.
Yeah.
That just now, these are early days for this subject. Early days mein industry mein awareness वगैरह सब थोड़ी कम होती है.
Yes.
But it is the field of the future and it is a field that is here to stay.
हम लोगों को समझना पड़ेगा. We like in the university, or any person in the university, whether it is faculty members or the decision makers, the board members also, we in a particular time period, we have to see the curriculum. Because curriculum is going to decide in which direction your students are going to.
So you have to keep upgrading your
So
curriculum.
you have to keep upgrading. We cannot be so rigid like what the people perceive. The government system is little rigid, but we have to move forward, because any you can say international organization, if you see, their university system are so flexible. So that is very important part. You have to keep your curriculum change or update, looking the demand of the people.
And not just today's demand, but tomorrow's
because you have to see what is going to happen next, because you have to predict for short term and long term. Like in next 5 years, what type of demand is there, and in next 15 years, what type of demand is there. Now you see the government of India is putting huge schemes.
That's
so
true.
If you are a good manager, I can say it's a good manager or the strategic guy, you can see there are lots of opportunities are going to come.
That is true. So on that very happy note, we will wrap up today's show here. Suresh, thank you so much for coming. ये एक issue ऐसा है जिसके ऊपर we need to do a series of programs. Absolutely, this is just the very beginning. Very beginning. So next week on Career Cafe, we'll look at yet another super career. But before that, let me leave you with a relevant thought. The future will either be green or not at all. No future. But as Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So on that note, bye for now and be the change.